America's Orange Nightmare taking over DC is nothing but an authoritarian power grab, and I can prove it to you using FBI data. Let's start with the lowest hanging fruit. Crime in Washington, D.C. hit a 30-year low in 2024. And it's down an additional 26% this year as compared to last year. So in other words, it is safer now in Washington, D.C. than it has been at nearly any time previously for nearly my entire life. But I wanted to go a step further. So I decided to look up crime data for every state in the nation with a Republican governor. Because if America's Orange Nightmare is going to argue that DC's crime rates are so bad that they justify turning the city into a police state, surely he must believe the same for any state whose crime is as bad or worse than DC's, right? Even if they're run by a Republican? 27 states in the nation currently have a Republican governor. According to the FBI's most recent crime data, 5 states run by Republicans have much higher aggravated assault rates than Washington, D.C. Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana, and Tennessee. In fact, Florida's aggravated assault rate is more than double Washington, D.C. And I didn't stop there. Since America's Orange Nightmare loves to evoke crime against women as a justification for many of his power grabs, I also compared D.C.'s rate of sexual assault with those 27 states. And wouldn't you know it, literally every single one of those 27 states had sexual assault rates higher than Washington, D.C.'s. In fact, even the nationwide rate of sexual assault is higher than DC's. But you know who had the worst rate of sexual assault out of all of those states? Florida. So you're twice as likely to get violently assaulted in Florida and 7 times as likely to get raped there than you are in Washington, D.C. And yet, America's Orange Nightmare has yet to say anything about seizing power away from Ron DeSantis, despite Ron's apparent inability to get a handle on his violent, dangerous state. I wonder why that is. So once again, to reiterate, there is no statistical or factual justification for America's Orange Nightmare to take over Washington, D.C. And that is why we need to call this what it is: fascism.